Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel. This is Fiona at Drawings in a Drawer, and today we're going to be talking a little bit about brushes. So many brushes and how we can use them differently in our watercolour paintings. As you can see, I have a huge bundle of calligraphy brushes, among others I'll be mentioning later. And my idea for these was that they would somehow help me become looser in my style, because you can never get loose enough, in my opinion. That is my opinion at the moment, at least. I tend to change it a lot. And I thought that what with them being so large, I would be forced to stay away from detail, at least in the early to mid stages of a painting, which is what I like to do. However, this didn't really work for me, as calligraphy brushes tend to have hard, dry bristles. I don't believe their purpose is for painting. The name kind of gives that away. I believe they were intended for calligraphy. But I have seen a number of artists use them beautifully with watercolour, and I wanted to give them a try myself. So the reason why these brushes didn't really work for me in this painting, and I always like to give supplies a second and third chance really, so let's just talk about this portrait, is because they tend to leave streaks and the paint just doesn't spread well, and that is something which is just not suitable, at least when it comes to my tastes when painting skin. I, however, believe these brushes, which were really pretty stiff, might behave wonderfully in landscape painting, which is something I am beginning to integrate into my work, to create the effect of grass, of fields and twigs and bushes. Also, the smaller ones have a very fine tip and can give you some extra control when you are going into the finer details in the later stages of the painting process, because they hold very little water, and we know that less water does also mean more control when we need it. So it's not all bad. These other brushes are the Neptune Princeton selection of brushes, which came in a pack of 4. And these two are number 12 and square wash 3/4. A lovely lady in the comments section asked me to always give the information about the supplies I use. So if I ever forget to do it in the video, I will leave the full list down below. These brushes are super soft. They soak up so much water. I wouldn't recommend them for a beginner because you have very little control. When you use this kind of brush, my experience is that you inevitably go through the so-called ugly stage, which will make many of us give up on painting. Please don't. This happens so often in watercolour, and it has actually happened to me with paintings that then turned out to be among my favourite and most cherished. I am just showing you here how soft and bendy the bristles of this brush are. They soak up so much water that they tend to almost become floppy. They also have a nice point to them. They are excellent brushes, but it takes time to learn how to control the amount of water you use. This is a synthetic square flat brush that I bought at my local art shop. The make is Borciani Bonazzi, and I like this brand. It's definitely something I tend to pick up when I don't want water running all over the place. I see this kind of brush to intensify dark values, trying to work my way out of the ugly stage I mentioned. You will also see me use a smaller Neptune brush here and the large oval silver black velvet, which is especially useful for large light washes I like to use to give the skin a more even look, since I tend to have quite a variety of stains and splotches in colours that one might not even think to use for skin. Adding a layer of light yellow ochre can tone that down to some extent. And here is my magic wand, silver black velvet round number 8. If I could have only one brush, this would be it. It offers the softness of Neptune brushes, but with some of the control that synthetic brushes have. It can hold enough water so that you are able to use it on larger areas, but when you get rid of the excess water, you will be able to use it for details as well. So it offers control while gradually allowing you to gain more freedom and confidence in your technique. I literally have a backup of this brush in my drawer because I don't think I could paint without it in case it one day falls apart. But I have to say it's still in excellent condition, and I have been painting with it almost every day for well over a year. So if anyone ever asked me what watercolour brush they should have in their stash, I will always say Silver Black Velvet number 8, hands down. I've picked up that square Neptune brush again. I love using square brushes for hair as the strokes tend to naturally resemble strands of hair. It's also rather easy to pull out highlights when working with this kind of brush. And here is probably another of my go-to brushes. It's by Escoda. It's synthetic, but it has the spring of natural bristles as it is made to imitate sable hair. I could not remember what this kind of brush is called. I initially thought it was called a dagger brush, but I looked it up and that was something else. This is called a rigger brush. I use it for details, be it the irises, that darker ring around the irises, flyaway hair, highlights, the inside of the nostrils, and I might add highlights at the end using this brush with white gouache. I also could use it for branches and stems. It offers a great deal of precision, and I personally find it quite easy to use. I would recommend this brush for a beginner for that very reason. A little trick if you want to add splatters to a painting, you can cover the area you don't want the splatters to land on with some cards or plastic. That is actually very helpful. And freckles are usually represented much better by using the splatter technique than adding them one by one, because that's not organic, let's say. I went in and added these poppies, and I don't often paint flowers, and this is really easy. It's a kind of expressive style. You just let the water flow, and then you add the usual splatters and drops that I like adding, and it just gives that impression of flowers rather than looking like flowers in detail, but you can still tell they're flowers. If you would like me to do a tutorial about this, I am more than willing and happy to do that. So guys, this is all for me from today. And yeah, you can follow me on Instagram at the handle Drawings in a Drawer if you want to see all my work in one place. My art and crime series is up on this channel. It tells the story of Italian crimes while I paint the portrait of the victim. And please subscribe to this channel and leave a like. It really helps me out a lot. Hope to see you soon. Bye.